all. This is Beth from the Medical Center Library, and I'm here to talk you through some of the upcoming changes that are planned for SciENcv and the NIH Biosketch. We expect that these changes will take place at the end of May 2025, but we're aware that there are lots of challenges that are affecting the timelines and workforces at NCBI and the NIH, and these challenges may have an effect on the timelines. The key points that I'm going to go over quickly have to do with one, the common forms, two, changes with delegates, three, PI certification, and four, the overall timeline of the process. Let's start off with the common forms. The NIH, along with most other federal agencies, are implementing a single common form used for grant processes. To accomplish this, all PIs will need to use SciENcv to create and complete their biosketches and other documents like their current and pending support. Additionally, senior and key personnel will be required to use an ORCID ID to access SciENcv and complete their forms. They will also need an ORCID to be connected to PI's ERA Commons accounts. All right. Moving on to delegates, PIs and their accounts will be allowed to have multiple delegates who can access and prepare their biosketches using SciENcv. A nice change here will be that will be really helpful for our larger research operations, as teams can now use a shared research administration team account as a delegate so that multiple admins with login credentials can access a single PI's account. Okay, now to one of the bigger changes, PI certifications and the output files. All biosketches must be certified by the PI from the PI's account before submission. When a PI certifies the biosketch, SciENcv will output a certified PDF that is formatted for submission. No changes can be made once the biosketch is certified. This is the biggest workflow change that research teams will want to be aware of, as they will no longer be able to edit biosketches up until the last minute. All right, again, I'm briefly touching on the timeline, but we do acknowledge that all federal communications right now are very fluid. The new SciENcv template for biosketches is currently scheduled to be released at the end of March. PIs will be required to, PIs are not required to use this form until May. So this will give folks some time to get adjusted to the new form before their deadlines. Narrative documentation, like contributions to science, will be moving to a supplemental document that we'll hopefully see templates of in the next few weeks as well. Those are the major updates, but I also want to share some concrete actions that PIs and their administrators can do right now. First, all users, both PIs and admins, should go ahead and log into NCBI to access SciENcv and familiarize themselves with the platform. Two, PIs and admins can go ahead and set up delegate teams and these delegate team structures so that they can plan for any workflow changes. Three, everyone should either create, log in, or recover the passwords for their ORCID accounts, as ORCID will be required for all NIH applications and submissions. Four, all users should go ahead and connect their ORCID accounts to both ERA Commons and NCBI to streamline the login process and prepare for new requirements. Those are the major changes that you can expect for the biosketch, but stay tuned for a quick walkthrough of how to access SciENcv as it is currently. All right, I'm quickly going to walk you through how to access SciENcv from an NCBI account. You can see here, I've gone ahead and logged in to my NCBI account, and you can tell that I'm logged in by looking in the top right-hand corner where it has my login information. I'm going to go ahead and click that button in the top right corner and head to my dashboard, which is here at the top of this list. Once you're in your My NCBI dashboard, if you scroll to the very bottom, you may have a different look and different things going on than I do. You'll see a box that says SciENcv. If you click on the bottom right corner where it says Manage SciENcv, you'll be able to access the full platform. Within the full platform, you'll be able to see all of the documents that you've created. It will migrate over any that you've created in the past, as well as any delegates that you have that you administer. These are these are folks that I serve as a delegate for. So if you're an administrator, you'll be able to select from this list. I'm going to go ahead and create a new document. Here, I'm going to call it Test 2025, just so I can start to see what it looks like. Here, you'll be able to select whether it's a biosketch, a fellowship biosketch, an NSF biographical sketch, which the NSF is also going to be using this tool, as well as a few others. If you'd like to test what the new NIH Biosketch will look like, you can select the NSF biographical sketch. This is close to what our NIH Biosketch will look like, but not completely the same. If you're going to be pulling data from ORCID, you can pull from ORCID or ERA Commons using an external source, and that will go ahead and pull in your administration data, that kind of stuff. You can also use an existing document. So once you create your first biosketch, you'll be able to create and build off of that and iterate so you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. Or you can start with a blank document, which you may want to do the first time. I've hit create and it's going ahead to create from our document. So again, I'm using the NSF biographical sketch because it is similar to what we're going to see for the NIH. And then you'll be able to go through and update your information, add any professional preparation. As you can see, my appointment came over automatically from ERA Commons. And you're able to select your products, things like that. This is what the certification will look like. You're able to see a draft in advance. The other thing I wanted to show you quickly is in your products, if you want to select your related products. If you have connected your ORCID ID, you will see an ORCID button that will allow you to pull information from ORCID as opposed to my bibliography. This is extremely helpful if you have presentations, service work, any kind of less normal, a different format than you might see traditionally in PubMed. Additionally, you're able to edit the author list via ORCID and have a little bit more control over what you pull over as opposed to pulling directly from my bibliography. So this is just a useful thing that you can have set up once you have connected your ORCID account. Once you've completed the project, completed your biosketch, you will go to the certification process, look at a draft, certify it from the draft, and then download the PDF. And that is going to be your short introduction to SciENcv.